So our little buddy Herbie here is a little helper robot that was designed to help the Fantastic Family with all sorts of tasks. Honestly, everything from helping Reed with his inventions, to vacuuming around the house, to putting out the fires that Johnny causes, to even babysitting. Herbie was eager to help with everything that he possibly could. So one day in the Baxter building, Reed was working on his newest invention, which was basically a machine capable of peering into parallel worlds. And, he knew it could be beneficial and all that, but he basically just needed one more part to complete it, which was a high charge conductor battery capable of negative energy filtration. Simple stuff like that. And so he had Herbie check their inventory system to see if they had that part basically anywhere in the building. Herbie went ahead and checked it and couldn't find that part anywhere, but his systems told him that there is one in stock at Lieberman's Gizmos and Gadgets across town. Reed said excellent and, basically asked him if he would, be able to go get that part for him and help him out like that. And he said of course he could, but they close in 30 minutes, so he would have to hurry and not run into too many distractions or obstacles. Well, so he went ahead and went on that adventure, basically at a brisk pace. And he wasn't off to too hot of a start, honestly. He ran into an invisible barrier because Sue was teaching Franklin how to do that. And then after that, he just happened to stumble into the thing, and the Human Torch just absolutely going at it. And then he got distracted by the receptionist, which, he basically had a bit of a crush on. And then he ended up running into the mailman, poor guy. And basically things weren't going too smooth for our little robot buddy here. And then, he just kept going along with the sole intent of just trying to make it before the electronics store closed so he could get that part for Reed. But just a few blocks over, the wingless wizard was up to all sorts of shenanigans, doing evil and stealing stuff and all that kind of stuff. And so Herbie was still on his way, speeding downtown, taking the fastest route, and he stumbled into, just a regular citizen, and basically kind of pushed him out of the way so he could keep on his way. And right after he did so, one of the things that the supervillain was messing around with landed on the ground right where the civilian was standing just a few seconds ago, which is crazy. Shout out Herbie, definitely saved that guy. And then after that, Herbie accidentally flew right into the path of the villain, knocking him off balance. The villain cursed him and all that, and Herbie was like, my bad, and I'm just trying to get apart, so he just kept on going. And so the villain then flew into the sky away from the police and thought he had made a clean getaway. But then Herbie also flew into the sky to try and make it once again to the electronics store on time, and ended up bonking the villain once again. The villain then got bonked to the ground, and the police were able to capture him. However, poor Herbie, with all the distractions and all the chaos, he ended up just missing his chance to get Reed's part that he needed from the electronics store. Herbie was then just super disappointed. He was sad and all depressed looking, and just started slowly flying his way back home. Meanwhile, the supervillain that he unknowingly thwarted was just basically arrested by the police now and just cursing his name, and wasn't too happy. So Herbie then sadly made his way back to the building. He rounded the corner and apologized to Reed because he let him down and he felt really bad about it. But unbeknownst to him, Reed said he couldn't be prouder of Herbie because he was looking at a news article, and basically the article said hero robot foils villain. So even though Herbie had no idea he had stopped a villain from stealing stuff and doing all sorts of chaos, Herbie did. So, shout out Herbie, he didn't get the part, but he sure did save the day.